Hi, my name's Tom. Today we're going to go ahead and get rid of this ugly builder's grade light, and we're going to put in something a little more modern, a little more industrial, kind of more of our style, and we're also going to go ahead and improve the light in this whole little closet area much more than this little frosted glass thing. Let me go ahead and show you the light. So I was sent these lights to go ahead and tell you all about them, which is great because my wife was actually looking at these exact same lights. So when Boskios, that's the company that makes them, went ahead and contacted us, I said, great, they're on our wish list. Let's go for it. So this is what it looks like. This is kind of a cage. It comes packaged just like this. It's packed in a little bit of styrofoam to keep it straight. This is the 11-inch model. You'll notice that everything is pretty much all in one. It comes in a 2-pack, so the 11 inches across will have 2 lights, and it comes in 2 of these in a pack. You can also get a 13-inch model, which has 3 lights in it for bigger, brighter areas. This is going to go into one of our kind of a stand-up closet, and then another one's going to go into kind of a hallway is where I'm going to put this one. But I want you to show you kind of what this looks like and the quality of this light. First of all, installation should be really, really easy. I'm going to show you how to install it. You get all of your accessories right here tied to the wires. You got a couple little wire nuts. You got some screws. You got a bracket to go ahead and mount into the ceiling. That's great. Here you go. Here's what it looks like. You can see it's a black metal finish. It is all solid metal. It is a black, matte black finish. There's nothing shiny. It's kind of a nice, again, industrial farmhouse sort of a look. We like that retro look. We like that sort of a black metal look. We have that in a lot of our places in our house, and we're kind of going through our whole house trying to do that. You will see that there's no frosted glass on it either. It is good for exposed bulbs, so it might look better with an Edison bulb. There's one you can see the filament, and we're going to put those in here in the very end. But I also want you to show you some nice features about this that we really like, that I kind of like as a home improvement nerd. One, there are ceramic little insulators in here. These little E26 bases, they're for regular size bulbs. They're pretty solid. They're pretty tough in there. They are well insulated. I can feel them. But here's the other cool thing. These things rotate out. That is really helpful. I have had lamps where the bulb sockets were just basically flat stuck up there. And if I put a big bulb up there, the actual glass would be hitting the metal, or I couldn't even fit certain types of bulbs in there. Because these can bend down a little bit, you can put some more round bulbous bulbs in there and still bend them down and have the bulb kind of out of the way of the metal. I really like that. If you really want to get fancy, you could put directional bulbs in here, and then you could kind of direct them and point them down at a certain angle if you wanted to. But you can see as well, again, no glass, nothing to worry about there. Nice and simple, real nice and easy to install, and we're going to go ahead and do that now. As for tools you'll need for this, pretty much everything you get is right here. Again, you get the screws. You will need a screwdriver. Phillips is fine. You will probably want some gloves if you really want to. You'll need a step ladder or some way to get up to your light if it's up on a ceiling of any sort. My ceilings are about, I think, 9 feet high, so you need to use a step ladder to get up there. That's pretty much it. You'll need to get up there, be able to get back down. I'm going to first go ahead and take off my old fixture, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you how easy it is to put this one up. Again, everything's pretty much assembled. I think there's one little screw I'm going to have to go ahead and screw in to keep the whole thing up in the air. Really simple. Let's get started. So first things first, I want to go ahead and kill the power here. If I don't know if it's not on a switch, then I may have to go ahead and go to the actual breakers in the house. This is on a switch, so I'm just going to go ahead and flip the switch. There's no one else in this room. My door is actually closed, so no one will come in to turn it on by accident. I've seen people go ahead and tape the switch down just to make sure no one turns it on. That's great. We can also go ahead and test to make sure there's no power up there, even though the light's turned off. Sometimes there is weird power runs, but that's not typical. Now the light's off. I'm going to go ahead and take that old light off the ceiling. Okay, I've got a little flashlight here, just put on the ledge just so you can kind of see stuff. Might happen to be a little dusty here, but I'm just going to take this thing down now. I am standing on a step ladder. Usually with these sorts of lights, you have a little nut or a little washer on the end here. I'm going to take this off, and then this whole thing comes off. Sometimes there's a secondary nut kind of holding that glass thing on there. Just be careful, this is glass, it can break and shatter. So I pull it down, and it looks like I only had one bulb in here to begin with. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure the bulb's not hot. This one is not, and I'm gonna take it off. So this is pretty typical. Now if you look closely, I want you to see, you'll see a little screw right here, and a little screw right here, and it's kind of a bigger hole here. The way this works is these screws are kind of holding the whole plate on the ceiling. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use a screwdriver and I'm going to loosen them up a little bit. You usually don't have to loosen them a whole lot. I'm doing this with one hand, so I have to be a little bit careful. Now, once you've loosened those screws, you can typically go ahead and turn the entire plate. And you'll see, as I'm turning, there we go. The screws just fall through the bigger part of the plate. And I pull this down, and there, even though it's a little bit dirty, I can see I've got a bracket and my wires. Next part, I'm going to go ahead and undo all of my wires. So on this particular light, they use these weird little bracket things where you kind of put your wires in, you kind of clip them in. You're supposed to, I think, squeeze them to pull the wires out. I'm not a big fan of these things. I don't like these. I kind of like the wire nuts better. I'm just going to twist. There we go. There's one off. I'm going to go ahead and twist the other one. There we go. And then the actual ground wire, I'm going to use a screwdriver to undo this screw to get this off. There we go. There we go. The light fixture is now completely off. This custom bracket's got to come out, and the way you do that is there's little screws here, and these screws will actually hold this bracket up in that plastic or metal box, whatever you happen to have up there. In this case, it's plastic. And I'm just going to go ahead and undo these screws, and then this bracket, see how it's loose? Take these two screws off, and this bracket will come out. Okay, our screws are out, our bracket's loose, and our ground wire is still on here. I'm just going to kind of pop it off the ground wire there. There we go. This custom bracket is no longer any good. We're going to toss that. So we have a ground wire, which is a bare wire. We have a white wire and black wire, and we're ready for a new bracket. We're ready to install our new light. Okay, so with our new light, we actually get a bracket and we get a couple screws. These are great little screws. They're nice and long. I like that. And all you do with your bracket is you're going to go ahead and put your bracket kind of in your electrical box there, and you're going to go ahead and screw in. And what I'm going to do, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and go one on this side. And then another one over here. And I like to put them on the outside brackets. And then I'm just going to go ahead and tighten these two screws in. You can use a drill for this as long as you're careful, or an electric screwdriver. I'm just going to use a manual screwdriver. It'll take a minute, but it'll go pretty fast. Again, these are nice long screws. I really like that. And there we go. It's nice and secure. Okay, now that I have these ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and loosen my ground screw. This is a green screw, and I'm going to take my ground wire. This is the wire that's kind of bare, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of squish it up a little bit, but I'm going to put my ground wire right around that green screw. Now it's time to actually install the light itself. We're going to go ahead and do it this way. Here's how I typically do it. Because you're up on a ladder right now, if you have friends or someone who can just kind of hold this up in the air, that will be helpful. Because you are on a ladder, it's a little bit difficult. But what I typically do is I take the ground wire from the light and I also wrap it around that screw there. I'm going to go ahead and put my screwdriver down for a sec. I'm going to wrap it around that screw and then I'm going to tighten it in. Okay, the wire's there. I'm just going to go ahead and tighten the ground screw. Keep all that ground wire nice and connected. Now, again, the Bosio's light comes with wire nuts. I like these wire nuts. These are great little wire nuts. They're small, but they have metal on the inside. They have a little metal teeth on the inside. That is great for keeping these things together. I do not like when wire nuts only have plastic. And I'm going to do white to white. I'm going to put it on my side there. Okay, white to white. And I'm just going to put the wire nuts in and I'm just going to twist them. I twist to the right. And there we go. Okay, so now I have ground tied to the green screw, white tied to white, and then finally black tied to black. And again, the same idea. I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to put my two little wires together, twist them with the wire nut to the right. Now, if you want to put the electrical tape on the ends, you can. I'm kind of going back and forth on that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. These wire nuts are really good, so they're holding them in nice and secure, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, last step here. I have my wires pushed up. I have my black little nut ready to go. I'm going to now push the whole light up against the ceiling. And I'm going to let that metal shaft kind of go right through the middle here. There we go. You might have a little more, a little less. You can adjust this screw, by the way. You can go ahead and turn the nut and kind of move it up and down and then tighten it up again. Mine is good, so I'm just going to go ahead and screw this on by hand. And you want to have at least, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 threads there. Probably 6 or 7 turns overall. And let me see here. And there we go. I am fairly secure. I'm now ready for light bulbs. Here we go. Here are 2 big Edison bulbs. Now again, you can turn and you can kind of adjust your lights. I can pull them downward if I want. I really don't want that. I'm going to push them back up a little bit there. There. Okay, there we go. I think I'm ready. I'm going to go ahead and remove my flashlight and test it out. Ta-da! There they are. Wow, that makes quite a difference. And there we go. That's all there is to it. Look at that. That is quite a difference. That is much brighter, much more modern, much cleaner looking light. You can see it just looks cool. It kind of has this cool industrial look to it. The other cool thing is that because it shows off so much light, I can obviously see so many more clothes because of this light. That was the whole idea. But I had that little crappy light up there and it really wasn't working well. This looks beautiful and it kind of matches the metal of this, kind of the cast iron industrial metal look. So it looks great. Holy smokes. So there you go, our up close. Again, nice and easy install. Just take the old one out, go ahead and put the bracket up for the new one, connect the wires and put one little nut to hold the whole thing up. Installation was great. All the packaged material was good. It's high quality. I like the fact that the sockets can move and turn. It's just a nice quality light. Just looks really, really great. It really kind of brightens up the whole area. Really very impressive. Boscos makes some great light fixtures here. I'm very impressed. Again, this is the black metal caged farmhouse industrial look. Really like it a lot. Looks great with Edison bulbs. These are highly recommended.